Hey guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at the Dragoness, Command of the Flame, which is an RTS RPG, as I'm now dubbing it. It seems pretty in-depth and well thought out, although some of the mechanics I'm not an overly big fan of. As always, we'll look through these settings and then we'll jump straight into the gameplay and show you what the game has to offer. There are a couple of different mechanics in the game that I want to try and showcase to you, and I will put those in the chapters below as well. So without any further ado, let's jump into it. Alright, we have the settings menu then. It is very minimalistic and I like the stylization of the buttons. However, the game does break a cardinal rule with the options, for me at least, that is just really quite annoying. So, game options. You've got language, map speed, and battle speed. Graphic options. You have your resolution, full screen, AA, VSync, textures, and shadow quality. Now that's all you get, as well as your overall quality here. But my biggest gripe with this menu is the fact that it's got these horrible arrows to scroll through, and there is a lot of options. Just give me a drop-down menu, please. I hate it when games do this. This is a personal bugbear of mine, and I really, really don't like it. It also doesn't start me on 1080. It started me in 4K, I think. So just something to bear in mind if you're a game developer. Scrap this horrible, horrible menu type. It is annoying, takes far too long to get to the option you actually want to get to, and doesn't serve a purpose for how the game looks at all. It's just horrible. Outside of that, it's quite a high graphic fidelity game, so I feel like they maybe should have had a few more options here. But overall, it's not terrible. It's just, again, the personal gripe. Other than that, you've got your audio settings. The game does start the volume on max settings, so you're going to want to turn it down just a touch. And that's it. That's your settings. Let's look in the game. Alright, we are in the game right now, and it is a single player RPG with RTS elements. It's very well voice acted. It looks pretty enough. Like, it looks like it could maybe have been, you know, it reminds me of first gen Path of Exile type thing. The graphics aren't incredible, but they're not terrible either. You can look around the screen with your W, A, S, and D keys, and then you move with your mouse. Now, the biggest problem I've got with this is that it incorporates some RTS elements to this as well, in that you only get a certain amount of turns before you have to end for the day, and it's kind of annoying. Honestly, it doesn't really serve any purpose. Like, I get that, you know, you're meant to replenish and keep everybody fed and stuff, but the amount of movement you get early game, it just slows the pace of the game down. And, like I say, is just annoying more than anything. You have certain areas that you can go to and see. I'm going to try and not hit any of these because, like I say, there's a lot of voice acting in this sort of area, and I don't really want to spoil any of the story. You can, however, get some resources out of things, and you can see what they are, and you can try and get them like that, and you're going to need the resources later on for crafting and things like that. Overall, this bit of the game would be much more fun if it wasn't for the fact that you've got this weird turn meter limit that you have to keep sort of going through and making sure that everybody's fully fed. It makes me not want to play on this part because I want to explore everything, but having to stop every 2 seconds to refuel and stuff, especially this early in the game where there's no reason for it, is just frustrating more than anything, and it slows the pace of the game right down. However, there is a second part of this game, and the second part is the RTS, proper RTS segment, which we're going to look at now. Alright then, so we're in the combat section of the game, the most RTS of the RTS sort of section of the game. You have very simplistic controls. You have a number of things that you can look at down the side that shows you what sort of combatant you've got. You've got your commander here with spells that you can use, and you can unlock those later on and gain more mana and stuff like that. And then down here you've got the order in which they're going to attack. So you can see we've got our 2 centurions, we've got the enemy, and then we've got our tree man, their tree man, etc. And it shows you the round that they're going to go through as well. Outside of that is a very, very simplistic RTS. Now, I'm fairly sure that as you go through the game and you are able to, you know, sort of do more and unlock more skills and stuff, you are going to be able to do more as a result. However, for now, it's very simple. You can either move or attack. You have hit chance and all that good stuff. I don't quite understand how or why the order changes. I don't understand what it is that's causing certain of my monsters to be quicker and certain of them to be a little bit slower, and the order changes and stuff like that. Haven't quite worked that out yet, but for the most part, it seems functional, right? The animations are pretty dope. They do what needs to be done, but there's not a huge amount going on. The AI doesn't seem to be that smart. You've got enough HP to get through it, and then obviously when you run out of turns, everybody gets fed and you gain all your health and stuff back like that. But that's the meat of the game. You go through, you kill the enemies, and you see where the story takes you. The story itself of the game isn't anything groundbreaking. You've got 2 dragons that are of opposing sides, that one becomes evil, and you've got to basically defend the kingdom, and you're an elf and you're going for reasons, right? So overall, it's something that I could see myself possibly getting into, but again, the RPG nature of this game, the lack of being able to move freely as I would normally want to do in a game like this does kind of put me off it. Let me know in those comments down below if you agree or disagree with my findings, and I shall see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.